Okay, everybody. Hey, welcome back. You've made it to part 11 of our What is a Cloud video series. Kind of an emphasis here on the Microsoft Cloud. So now we're going to start all of our demonstrations. We spent a bunch of time going over some material. Let's have a little bit of fun and let's get into the Microsoft Azure console and talk about the console for a little bit, and then we'll go ahead and we'll create some type of resource within the console itself. So as you can see here on the screen, I am at the website portal.azure.com, and I have logged on, and this is my console that you see. Now, when you look at the portal.azure.com console on the main screen, notice on the bottom right-hand corner, you have all of the support you need with Azure mobile apps. So if you're interested in managing basically your entire cloud from your iPad or your phone, hopefully you have better eyes than I do. You can certainly go to the App Store or the Google Play Store and you can download the various portal software, the portal consoles, and so forth, and run your entire cloud from the comfort, if you will, of your tablet or your iPhone or Android phone, which is kind of interesting. So just keep that in mind. Now, when you look at the main screen here and what it's made up of, on the far left-hand side, this is where you will find kind of the most popular services that you can build in the cloud, right? Things like application services and function apps, right? Remember in previous video parts here, I talked about serverless computing and I talked about how we can host functions and the cloud service provider will bill us when those functions execute. And I gave you the example of hosting a table, if you will, or a form in a website, and you fill it out and you submit it, and that data is taken somewhere else and processed. That processing was based on a function. Well, that's how we do that. Do you want to build a SQL database? You can certainly do that. We have Azure Cosmos databases as well. We're going to get into all of these things as we go through the remainder of this particular course, right, in videos upcoming. Of course, I can build virtual machines and load balancers. We have storage accounts, and a storage account is nothing more than an account for us to store up to 500 terabytes of data in the cloud. And you can use it for a lot of different things. We can build virtual networks, Azure Active Directory. We can set that up to create an environment for authenticating to things like applications and so forth. We have monitoring and an advisor to let us know how, from their standpoint, meaning Microsoft's standpoint, our cloud infrastructure is currently operating. We have Microsoft Defender in the cloud for your anti-malware processes in the cloud, cost management, and of course help and support. These are kind of the most popular locations or services, I would say, within Azure. And there's a bazillion other ones out there as well. Now, guys, I'm a trainer by trade, obviously, and a consultant, a cloud consultant and a security consultant. So I kind of have a dual faceted career, if you will. With my trainer hat on my head, I love the Microsoft Azure console. Why do I say that? Well, just mouse over something on the left-hand side and just hold your mouse there. So let's, for instance, I'm going to mouse over virtual machines, and I'm going to let the mouse sit there, and notice what happened. We have a fly-out window for virtual machines. And notice right here, I can create a virtual machine. I can view my virtual machines right from here. Then it gives you a description. Create a virtual machine that runs on Linux or Windows, etc. And then down below, here's my trainer hat. Why I love this. Free training from Microsoft. First off, Microsoft has a great new training website called Microsoft Learn. Microsoft Learn is free. and it's accessible. You don't even have to go into Azure to get to it. Just go to learn.microsoft.com. But what I love about this, let's say I'm new to the cloud and I didn't have the opportunity to take a course like this, and I didn't have the money or don't have the money to go spend 2,000-3,000 taking a class at a training company. I can still figure out how to build and manage and manipulate virtual machines by the built-in training. So notice right here it says free training from Microsoft. Here's an introduction to Azure Virtual Machines. 8 units, 1 hour and 7 minutes on average to complete it. Create a Windows virtual machine. Well, let's say I want to do that. I want to learn about that. I'm going to click that link and notice where it's going to take me. It's going to take me to learn.microsoft.com. And here, guys, is a complete lab and training course on just how to create a virtual machine in Azure. It tells you it's roughly 51 minutes. And it's got 7 units to it. It gives you the learning objectives. You'll click Start, any prerequisites. And notice here are the units. An introduction, create a Windows virtual machine in Azure. Create a Windows virtual machine, use RDP. Here's an exercise. The exercises right here are actually done live in Azure. Not in your Azure, but what we call Azure Slices, which is a portion of Azure that's designed to give people access to it, to work with it, and to learn about Azure. And then when they get out of it, everything they do disappears. Right? So I really encourage you to look around for learning opportunities as you dive deeper into Azure. And you would just simply click Start, read your introduction, go through everything it tells you to do, make sure you understand your prerequisites. Go to the next unit once you're done, and notice creating an Azure virtual machine. It walks you right through everything you need to do and all of the choices you're going to be presented with. Now, guys, I'm going to go through and build an Azure virtual machine at some point, but notice right here, next unit, exercise. You're going to create a Windows virtual machine right here, and notice it says sign in to activate Sandbox. Right? This is an Azure Slice, as we call it. This module requires a sandbox to complete. A sandbox gives you access to free resources. Your personal subscription will not be charged. The sandbox may only be used to complete training on Microsoft Learn. For any other reason, it's prohibitive, meaning don't go set up a virtual machine and think you're going to put it out on the internet and have a free web server. First off, when you attempt to do stuff like that and you get out of it, anything that's there eventually disappears anyway. But this is pretty fun. You've got all this built in. And let me go back to the portal here. I don't care what you're interested in learning about. You can see it all in here, right? Just mouse over something. There is storage accounts. You want to learn about storage accounts? Here you go, free training. You want to learn about whatever, SQL databases and function apps and so forth. Or again, look down here on the bottom under useful links and tools. Right here, Microsoft Learn, technical documentation. Find an Azure expert. If you want to actually get some consulting for the product, you can certainly do that from right here. So the middle section is really broken up into Azure Services, Resources, Navigate, Tools, and Useful Links. Now, right here, the top, Azure Services, this is showing you the last services that you actually worked with, meaning me. App services, resource groups, all services, all resources, quick start, all of that is here. Hey guys, same thing, mouse over, you're going to get your training content there for you. If you want to see all of the services, click More Services. When you click that, it's going to explode with volumes and volumes of services. And you'll see Azure, meaning Microsoft, is constantly developing new services. If you just look in the list, on occasion, you're going to see, for instance, this one, templates under preview. This is under general. We have preview features. We have targets management. We have Chaos Studio. This is all DevOps stuff there, right? We have Kubernetes Fleet Manager. So if you have a boatload of applications that are hosted in containers, by the way, just mouse over, you'll get your learning. This enables multi-clusters and scale scenarios, meaning load balancing and scaling between your containerized applications. Tons of stuff here that is constantly being added and updated by Microsoft. So these are just the popular services out here, and all of these are obviously all of the services. And again, guys, you can fine tune them on the second menu. This would be the first menu on the left, then the second main menu, and then you'll see the services on the far right side. But if you go to the category view in the second menu here, and for instance, I'm interested in seeing what's available for databases, just click databases and it'll show you all the services associated with that. Containers. How about compute? We certainly talked about that in part 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6, right? Look at all the compute options in here. I want to manage virtual machine scale sets. I want to manage, different applications on virtual machines. Here's platform as a service dev. Here's serverless function apps, right? High performance HPC computing, kind of like a modern equivalent to supercomputers, except we're managing individual processes within virtual machines. A lot of cool stuff in here available. Of course, your virtual machines and your virtual machine image versions and so forth, which you can build. Anyway, you just simply look at all services and you can see them here. Now, if I want to go back to where I originally was, it's quite simple to do. Just go over on the left-hand side and choose Home, and boom, you're back. Underneath Azure Services, you'll see Resources. Now, I currently don't have any resources because normally with my pay-per-use account, which is what I have for my training, I just delete everything. But one thing you don't delete is your subscription, and that is a resource. So your subscription is like your account at the electric company or the water company, right? You call the electric company, you say, hey, I just moved into this particular house. I need an electric account. They set you up. That's your subscription, if you will, right? Well, this is my account, one of my accounts. And if you go ahead and click on the subscription, it'll take you exactly to all things that deal with your subscription. Wouldn't you love to know when your electric bill is approaching a specific amount of money? Right? That would be great. You can see all that in the cloud. More difficult, although I will tell you where I live, I can actually get an idea of what my electric bill is going to be, but it's not exact. But here I can set up cost alerts. Right on the left-hand side, I can set up cost analysis, everything under cost management. Do I want to set up a budget? I've got 100 virtual machines and I want to budget X amount of dollars to one group, a resource group of those virtual machines. Can I do it? Can I see my billing right now? Boom, yes, $5.63. And my spending rate and forecast, notice it's $5.63. It's been $5.63. Notice it gives you cost by resource. Agency 1 file server was a virtual machine that I had, right? You can see the individual costs associated with everything. So if you have a bunch of resources, guys, and you want to know how much does a file server or this particular file server costing us, you might find it costs, $485 this month, and you decide, you know what, it's really not that important of a file server and I'm spending some money on it. Maybe I'm going to combine that service with some other service to get rid of that VM to save us even more money, right? It's all about optimizing your cloud, right? I can see all of these things. I can go to activity logs and look at log files, right? I can see anything I want associated with my subscription. Now, again, that's the only resource that I currently have in here. You'll see all of your virtual machines, your container apps, your load balancers, your resource groups, all of those things. And we're going to talk about what those items are now that we've started the demo portion of our What is a Cloud class. Over the next probably, I don't know, 5 to 8 episodes, we'll talk about a lot more of that stuff. This is just a general overview of the console. Then we have Navigate, which is the next one below Resources. This is just kind of a quick launch. I want to navigate to my subscriptions, my resource groups, to all services. And again, don't forget, you've got the fly out menus, right? You've got the fly out menus, very simple. Here's your dashboard. If I want to customize my dashboard and make it look a specific way, by the way, I can certainly do that. I don't like the basic, Azure dashboard. Can I change it? You bet you can change it. You can go up top here, click Create, and you can begin to create your own dashboard. Do you want a dashboard that is really giving you more information about SQL database health or your virtual machine fault tolerance scale sets or app services or application insights, or if you're using the cloud for Internet of Things and IoT, I want my dashboard to give me specifics on that, or I want to create a full-blown custom one by clicking Custom, and then I'm going to drag into various locations, exactly what I want in specific areas, and if I want to move it around and so forth, I can do that. I can go ahead and give it a specific name. I can add additional tiles. I want users and groups. I want all resources in here. I want Microsoft, the admin center. I want metrics chart in here. And I can scroll through and add whatever I want. I like help and support. I like some video training in there, or actually I can put my own custom videos in there if I want for my employees. I could make custom videos and put them here. So, hey, you want to learn how to do something? I've embedded it right into the actual resource itself, meaning into the dashboard itself, right? All of these different things. And then, of course, guys, I can move them around exactly the way I want, so I can get the view that works for me, and it makes me obviously more maybe resourceful or more productive. And I can save it as a custom dashboard. And now when I go home, what do I see? I see this. If I want to change to my dashboard, I can go ahead and go to my own private dashboard, and there everything is. Okay, real simple how you can manipulate what it looks like, meaning what Azure looks like. Now I'm going to go ahead and get rid of this dashboard because frankly I'm not going to use it. But the point is I can go in here and create an environment that works for the users of my cloud. Right? Maybe I have a subset of employees that are just managing virtual machines. Well, I can certainly create a dashboard with virtual machines. Exactly what I want there for them. So when they log on, boom, what do they see? Their dashboard is going to be called VM, and it has everything they need to do their job. Can they get in another VM? No, because I've assigned them only the permissions to the VM dashboard. And then I have other users that are other employees that manage, container apps. I'll create a custom dashboard for container apps, and I'll assign it to them. Can they get to the VM dashboard? No, they can only get to the one they've been assigned to. So those are the types of things that you could do within the portal to make it user-friendly, to make it an environment where your users can be very productive. And then, of course, you've got tools and useful links and so forth below. Now, what I really love also about this portal, man, the search function is phenomenal. Maybe there's something in Azure that I can't remember the name of it, but I know it began with a K-U and a B, I believe. So it's context sensitive searching. If I only know the first 3 letters or even the first 2, I can type that in and it gives you all of those options. There it is, Kubernetes services. I found it. I want to create a new Kubernetes cluster, etc. So the search function is phenomenal. I encourage you to use the search because let me tell you, the one issue with not only Azure but also AWS and Google Cloud Services, things change all the time. And you might not be in Azure every single day of your career. You might only be in there once or twice or three times a month. Well, let me tell you, things change over that month. So using the search function is phenomenal because it gets you right to where you need to be quickly. Now take a look even more on the blue bar. The top right corner, here is my account, if you will, and the email address associated with my account. If you click it, it'll open up information about your account, and I can sign in with a different account. If you have multiple Azure accounts, you can certainly sign in there. Let's move over into these icons here as we wrap up part 11 here. We're going to go one over, and we have feedback. You can supply feedback. Maybe you found a tool that frankly doesn't work right. Maybe you found something broken. Maybe you found something that they changed and you really like. Give them feedback. If you found something that obviously didn't work, give them feedback. Let them fix it. And let me tell you, they do one heck of a job fixing problems if they're, problems that aren't necessarily just about you, meaning there really is an issue and it does affect Azure as a whole. They're very good about changing it. You've got the circle question mark, which is the next one over. This is a great way to look up, support issues that you might be having. Looking up issues and asking questions. You can go to help and support from here. You can ask the Azure community, which by the way is fantastic. If you have something going on in Azure and you're not sure what's up, ask the community. Let me tell you, people man this 24 hours a day. 7 days a week. I've been using this in the most, latest in the evening, earliest in the morning, 2, 3, 4 in the morning, and people are there to help all the time. It's amazing. You then have your settings, which is the gear next to the question mark here. So you can manage your profile settings, your appearance and startup. This is where you can add different backgrounds depending, or not backgrounds, but dashboards for different types of users that log on. You can change languages and information about your profile, just settings in general. The next bell, the bell icon, is the notifications icon. The next video, I'm going to build a virtual machine for you, and you'll see the notifications will be loaded up with all the different things that the automation and orchestration is taking us through as the virtual machine is being built. You'll see that in the next part. And then the next icon over from the bell here, this is your directories and subscriptions. This is taking you to your directory and your subscription information. Now, in all fairness, it looks just like the other one as well, right? It looks just like the other one. And then finally, we have our Cloud Shell down on the bottom here. We have a Cloud Shell. This is where, and I don't have a storage account set up yet. That'll come in a later part when I start doing some more demos for you. But I can use PowerShell. I can use different shells to manipulate and script various activities within the actual Azure environment. You can do all of those things. So if you want to automate processes, you can certainly do it. I don't want to go through the wizards to build things. I've got very detailed scripts that'll do it all for me through the Microsoft orchestration process and automation processes. No problem. You can simply use that. And of course, there's different shells that you can implement there as well. It's not just PowerShell. Well, guys, there it is. I just wanted to spend some time, about 24 minutes or so, going over the console so you can get an idea for where things are. I hope you enjoyed this. Guys, I'll see you on the next one where I'm actually going to get in and we'll start actually building some resources. Hey, do me a favor. If you liked what you just saw, would you please give me a like, give me a thumbs up, whatever it is. Give me a comment. Let me know you watched it and what you thought. Right? Subscribe so you'll see all the upcoming parts and get notified of that. Guys, I really need your help spreading this throughout the internet. Okay, and like I said in past videos, I can't do it by myself, and I really appreciate that you just took 24 minutes out of your life and hung out with me doing this. And I'll be back, and hopefully you'll be available again to watch more of this. Guys, I want to thank you very much. This is Tim, the IT trainer. We'll see you on the next one.